Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are now very proud to have on the phone to us the one and only Mr. Walter Trout. Walter, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
Very well indeed, thank you. Now, you've had a very long career in music.
Yes.
You've just finished playing in front of like hundreds of thousands of people all over Europe at huge outdoor gigs. And now, next Saturday, you're coming to a tiny village hall very near where we are. Would you like to tell us a bit about the history of this
venue? Yeah.
Well, I don't really know the history of the venue.
Oh, no, Walter.
I know that I've played there, like, probably 10 times.
Yeah, I mean your history with them, yeah?
Oh, I got you. Well, geez, I think I've been playing there at least for 15 years, maybe 18 years. I've lost track of how many times we've played there. It's sort of kind of like a home away from home. There's a place that I play in the town that I live in California, a little club called Perks. And that's sort of my home in California where I play, and I just feel very relaxed, and there's no pressure, and I think the people get a great show. And that's kind of what Will Barston Hall reminds me of. It's the same kind of vibe. There's no pressure. It's kind of like a party. It's just really a lot of fun. It's very intimate, and I actually love it. I sort of feel that in some ways I play better when the venue's a little bit smaller and you can look the people right in the face. That's sort of where the real stuff happens with this kind of music.
It's funny you should mention that, Walter, because Andy Powell out of Wishbone Ash, who played there last night, said very much the same thing, that they felt very at home there.
Yeah, it's there's just no pressure. There's no formality, like, it's a concert. You just feel like you're playing almost in somebody's living room to a group of your friends, It's really cool.
Oh, that's brilliant, Walter. Now, you've had a very long-standing love affair with the Stratocaster.
Yes.
Now, I'd like to know, what made you choose the Strat in the first place above all other guitars? And you obviously loved it because you've stuck with it for so long.
Well, I can go into a little bit of history with that here for you, too. I'm just about to jump out of the van here, though, but let me do this. I'm riding with a group of crusty blues rock musicians here. We're in Newcastle, and they're yelling at me, speak for myself. We're going to jump out here, and we're going to hit a Starbucks and attempt to wake ourselves up. Okay, I'm out, and I'm walking. I started off on a Les Paul, and I liked it a lot. I thought it was cool. And then from that, I went to a Gibson 335, which is a semi-hollow guitar, sort of along the lines of what B.B. King uses. But one night back in Jersey, I was at a jam session, and a friend of mine had a Stratocaster, and he handed it to me, and I started playing it, and I felt like I had met the woman I was going to marry or something. I think when Leo Fender designed that, he hit perfection. I can tell you that for instance, the body is tapered in the back, so it fits up against you very comfortably. It's almost like a woman. It just fits perfectly. It's awesome. But also the controls, to kind of get technical here, on a Les Paul, while you're playing, if you want to switch pickups, you have to reach up to the top of the guitar. And then if you want to turn it up or down or switch tones, you have to reach down to the bottom of the guitar.
This is very true.
And each pickup has its own volume and its own tone. And with a Stratocaster, all the controls are right at your pinky finger. You can actually be playing, and while you're playing, just with the flick of your little finger, you can change pickups, you can change volume, you can change tone, and it for me, I found it expanded my ability to stretch the limits of what I could do on a guitar, and that became my quest. I don't use any effects. I don't use any pedals. what I do is I plug into an amp, I have my Stratocaster, and every night I have this joyous experience of trying to see what limits I can hit with this guitar and take it to new limits of sound and experimentation simply by manipulating the controls on the guitar. And that's really what it is with a Stratocaster for me. I think when Leo Fender designed that, he hit perfection, and there have been guys over the years that have tried to improve on it, and they never have. Just a regular old stock Stratocaster is the ultimate tool if you're an electric guitar player. But that's just for me. That's not for everybody.
Well, you use it to very good effect, Walter, I must say. And I know what you mean, because both Stu and I play the guitar, so yeah, the toggly bit, yeah, I understand that. But how is the new album going down?
The new album's going down great. And, you know, in the States, it was on the Billboard Blues charts in the top 10 for, I don't know, a month and a half or 2 months or something. And we will be playing quite a bit of that album at Will Barston this time around. We have a lot of new material we're doing.
Well, we'll be there. I'll tell you that. We wouldn't miss it for the world. Did you know that Whispering Bob Harris called you the world's greatest rock guitarist?
I knew he did that in his book, and I was very moved by that. He's a great guy and a good friend, and I know that he wouldn't have written that in the book unless he really believed it. I mean, we are friends, and I've stayed at his house, and I knew his dad, and but I know that Bob, having the integrity that he does, he would not have written that if he didn't really believe that. So I was flattered and very moved.
I would be too, because in Britain he's a legend, and we all respect his opinion very much. So, wow, how cool is that?
Walter, I have a quote for you here. Music gives you an opportunity to speak directly to people's hearts.
That was you, Walter, who said that, by the way.
Well, I was going to say, whoever said that, I agree with him completely. So
that's one of your own. But I thought, when I read this, I thought that is a fantastic way of sort of putting across how a performer gets to his audience.
So what can we expect from the new album, Walter?
You mean which songs are we going to be doing?
No, generally, what can we expect as a whole?
From the album, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I tried to write more songs from my heart, and I tried to, put as much emotion in there as I can. I'm a firm believer in the emotional aspect of any kind of art. Hold on, here comes an ambulance or something. I'm standing out on the street here in Newcastle. Okay,
live radio,
the other way. But I think it came out really, really fine, and I think it's got some of my best songs on there, because a big part of what I try to do is to be a songwriter. I'm very serious about that aspect of it, and I have been since I started. When I was just 14 and 15, I was writing songs. Even before I sort of went at the electric guitar and started learning how to play lead, I was playing folk music and writing my own tunes. So I think there's a lot of really good playing on that album, but I also think there's a lot of good songs.
Brilliant. Now, Walter, before we go, I'm going to ask you a question which I like to ask every rock star that we interview.
And this is true.
Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
What's your favourite fish?
No, you don't ask them that. You're asking me that because my name is Trout.
No, I'm honestly
not. We were worried about this. He's asked everybody, honestly.
I'm not going to say it's Trout because I don't believe in cannibalism. But I would say my favorite fish, I would have to say tuna fish, because you can tune a guitar, but you can't tune a fish.
Oh, nicely done.
Yes, we were very worried about asking you that question, but
Walter,
it's true.
We're looking forward to next Saturday. We will see you down there. And thank you very much for joining us here at HFM.
And HFM is very proud to be local, and this radio station covers not only the whole world, but mainly the area around Wilbaston. And this will be broadcast to the people, and hopefully they will come along and listen to you.
In their thousands.
Well, I hope they do, and if they don't, we're going to go out and find them, and we're going to slap them upside the head.
And drag them in, Walter.
Drag them in, that's it.
And then lock the doors.
Walter, thank you very much indeed, sir.
Well, thanks for having me on your show, and I look forward to meeting both of you, so please come up and say hello,
We definitely will, Walter. Thank you very much indeed.
Okay,
Ladies and gentlemen, Walter Trout.